But it's, again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. So there has been a lot of updates coming out. So I thought we'll take a look at these and catch up. One day and a lot of stuff has gone on. This guy, ooh-la, ooh-la. So we are going to start off here for now and see what's going on next in this case.
Suspect in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto is sitting in jail, but has not been charged with her murder. Experts say investigators are building their case.
They have a very good, strong circumstantial case.
We're walking you through what's next in the investigation.
So yeah, there is a lot of questions right now. So I've got quite a few links up. Hopefully it'll answer some of our questions. And if we need to dig a little further, we're going to do it.
It has now been exactly a week since Madeline Soto disappeared. Her body was discovered last Friday in a wooded area in St. Cloud. Good evening. I'm Greg Wormuth.
And I'm Darlene Jones. The case gripped our community here. Her mother's boyfriend is in the Osceola County Jail right now on charges unrelated to her death, and he's still not talking about little Madeline's disappearance. Channel 9's Daryl Matthews is live outside of the Osceola County Jail tonight. And Daryl, you spoke with former Chief Judge Belvin Perry about this case, and he says it is reminding him of the Casey Anthony case.
Oh, this is, Casey Anthony case, I'm not so sure. But this guy was a complete predator who got his hands on Madeline at least a couple years ago. So now the question's going to be, is there more charges coming for him and possibly for her mother?
Yeah, Darlene, a lot of similarities. One, the prime suspect being close to the victim being a child, and also what the prime suspect is telling law enforcement leading up to the discovery of the body.
Casey saying that the babysitter had her. You have this person saying that he dropped off at school.
In 2011, former Chief Judge Belvin Perry presided over the Casey Anthony trial. Happy birthday. Now he's showing us the similarities between that case and the investigation into the death of Madeline Soto.
Push the needle, in my estimation, was when they discovered the body.
In both cases, the victims were last seen with the prime suspect. In Maddie's case, she was last seen with Stephan Sterns.
Oh, I tell you what, this interview that he got going here, wiping away his fake tears and his fake nose stuff, and the mother, I'm not understanding her yet.
What I would call a pseudo-relative that was close to the child, that was in a familiar relationship with the child.
Sterns, who now sits in the Osceola County Jail, told investigators he dropped Madeline off for school Monday morning. He was arrested Wednesday in Kissimmee for child sexual battery and has yet to talk to police. Madeline's body was discovered Friday in a wooded area. Judge Perry says evidence from several surveillance videos could supply probable cause to charge Sterns with murder.
It's really putting together a jigsaw puzzle piece by piece, and the police will build their case.
Now, Judge Perry says that it could be 2 years away from the indictment. He also says as law enforcement continues to get evidence, more will come to light about what exactly happened to Madeline Soto. For now, we are live at the Osceola County Jail. Daryl Matthews, Channel 9.
Heartbreaking, you guys. Absolutely heartbreaking. What this little girl has most likely been going through for quite amount of time.
The Osceola County Sheriff is responding to community outrage linked to Madeline's case. He shared a photo on social media of what appears to be a body in a wooded area. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb reports the sheriff says it was all an accident.
It's important to note that Osceola County Sheriff's Office was not even investigating Madeline Soto's death. They were solely taking part in the search. So that leaves the big question, why did Sheriff Marcos Lopez even have the graphic photo? Less than 24 hours after the discovery of Madeline Soto's body, a disturbing photo that was confidential leaked from the scene.
So there is something else that is being dealt with. Somehow, the sheriff managed to have, this is allegedly on his personal phone, pictures of a deceased Madeline and put it out on social media by mistake. And yet you've got somebody else who works for the same sheriff's office, and she's taking pictures of her as this ass gets booked. What the hell is going on out there?
By Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez on his personal Instagram page. The post includes a photo showing what looks like the teen's body in the woods, dressed in the clothes Stephan Sterns says she was last seen in. Lopez says he accidentally posted the image while trying to share a post of him visiting senior citizens. Then Osceola...
Do you know what? I still call BS, because this was on his personal phone, allegedly. That's a little sus.
Sheriff's Executive Director Nerva Rodriguez
There we
posted
go.
a selfie with...
See, now here we have Nerva Rodriguez, who also works for the same sheriff's office, taking selfies. Come on.
Suspect Stephan Sterns with a caption speaking about evil.
All of those things are against the policies and procedures that they have outlined.
Law enforcement expert Randy Nelson says this violates the sheriff's social media policy, which says it is explicitly prohibited to post information from an ongoing criminal investigation, including photographs, and says not to make statements about the guilt or innocence of any suspect.
It makes you look at the leadership. I mean, that's all one can do. And once again, it goes back to transparency and accountability.
Speaking of transparency, after multiple attempts to get more information, Osceola County Sheriff's Office would...
This is not transparency. This is a failure in the system. This is not transparency. This is failure.
Not say why the sheriff had the photo and who took the photo. They also would not say if Rodriguez was under investigation. We also ask if the sheriff has personally apologized to Madeline Soto's family. They have not responded. Reporting in Osceola County, Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And the Orange Osceola County State Attorney told us within the last hour that he is deeply disturbed that the photos were carelessly made public, albeit as an accident. The statement went on to say he does not believe these photos will have any evidentiary impact on the case as of now. They were released in poor taste, is what the statement says. Also adding, our main focus is making sure we get justice for 13-year-old Madeline Soto. We will have much more on this controversy and this case as we continue to stay on top of this story. We'll bring you every update here on Eyewitness.
So, guys, what do you think about that? Accidentally posts? Accidentally posts possible crime scene photo in Madeline Soto's case on Instagram. Yeah.
People want answers on what is next for the man known as the prime suspect in a 13-year-old girl's murder.
We're working to figure out when he could be facing more charges. Stephan Sterns is the girl's mother's boyfriend. Right now, he's charged with sexual battery and child pornography. Investigators think instead of dropping Madeline Soto off at Hunters Creek Middle School last Monday, he killed her, threw away her backpack, and hid her body. Investigators later found her on Friday. And as Kissimmee police investigate Madeline Soto's murder, there are new questions tonight about social media posts published by a different law enforcement agency.
So over the weekend, employees at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office posted a crime scene photo and a selfie with the prime suspect in Soto's disappearance. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest joins us now. And Mike, you just heard from prosecutors about this.
That's right. I just received a statement from State Attorney Andrew Bain, who will be prosecuting the case. He says, in part, I'm deeply disturbed that the photos were carelessly made public. While I do not believe that these photos will have any evidentiary impact on the case.
This is a child who was deleted by her mom's boyfriend. We do not need that in the public realm. There's no reason to see these. Yes, I agree. Unprofessional, incompetent fools. Yeah. Brutal, you guys.
As of now, they were released in poor taste. Late Friday afternoon, Osceola County Sheriff's deputies discovered the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto in a wooded area. On the very next morning, on the official Instagram page for Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, someone posted a photo that appeared to show a close-up view of the crime scene. News 6 has blacked out that image. But the photo caption, which reads, "Great day with our seniors," suggests the posting was unintentional. In a statement issued Saturday afternoon, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "Earlier today, a post was made on social media about a community event for seniors. In the post, an investigative photo was accidentally included. The photo was immediately removed. We deeply apologize for any confusion or disturbance this may have caused. As with any investigation, the information obtained is confidential, and any mistaken disclosures will be immediately rectified."
That could affect the investigation and prosecution of the case, the defense of the case.
You see, and this is the thing. There could be very, very serious repercussions for this alleged mistake. It's horrifying.
And it could also affect the potential jury pool.
News 6 legal analyst Stephen Kramer says the photos release may prompt a defense attorney to try getting the trial moved to another location. And he says it could open Sheriff Marcos Lopez up to civil liability.
You've got a grieving family that's suffering, and you may see an argument that this photo, even if it wasn't intentional, the release was negligent. And as a result, you may see a claim for damages and a lawsuit result from that.
The agency has not disclosed whether Sheriff Lopez himself or another staff member posted the Instagram photo. That same morning, Sheriff's Office employee Nerva Rodriguez posted this photo on her personal Facebook page. It shows Rodriguez posing in front of Stephan.
So tell me how this is okay. This is not okay. On her personal Instagram. Do you know, guys, like, what the hell is going on out there?
Stephan Sterns, the prime suspect in the teenager's disappearance. The caption reads, "If God's love has been poured out over your life, don't allow evil to keep you away from what he has prepared for you." The post includes the hashtag Nerva Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the executive director of the Sheriff's Office, a civilian position that oversees several departments, including the agency's social media. The photo was removed from Rodriguez's Facebook page after News 6 began asking questions about it. Rodriguez did not respond to my request for comment. A Sheriff's Office spokesperson said it could not answer questions about Rodriguez's Facebook post due to ongoing investigations.
Wow. Okay, Sheriff Marcos Lopez posted a confidential crime scene photograph on Saturday morning, which the agency later said had been inadvertently shared with the public. The sheriff's office has not disclosed whether Lopez himself or another agency employee posted the photo. Well, I think we do know who posted that photo. And it did not specify the criminal investigation from which the image originated. Former Osceola County Sheriff Russ Gibson, who is running against Lopez, oh yes, he's up for re-election, said the photograph depicted the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, who was found Friday afternoon in a wooded area near St. Cloud. The clothes seen in the photo are consistent with what she was wearing and was wearing on February 26th when she was reported missing. In response to questions, the Ocala County Sheriff's officials did not dispute the photo stemmed from the Soto investigation. Earlier today, a post was made on social media about a community event for seniors. An unnamed Osceola County spokesperson said in an email. In the post, an investigative photo was accidentally included. The Ocala County Sheriff's Office did not respond to question inquiries why the person who posted the Instagram photo was in a position of a confidential investigative photo. Crime scene photo was posted on Instagram the same morning. Nerva Rodriguez, a civilian Sheriff's Office employee, shared a photograph on her personal Facebook, posing with Stephan Sterns. Seriously.
People want answers on what is next for the man known as the prime suspect in a 13-year-old girl's murder.
We're working to figure out when he could be facing more charges. Stephan Sterns is the girl's mother's boyfriend. Right now, he's charged with sexual battery and child pornography. Investigators think instead of dropping Madeline Soto off at Hunters Creek Middle School last Monday, he killed her, threw away her backpack, and hid her body. Investigators later found her on Friday. And as Kissimmee police investigate Madeline Soto's murder, there are new questions tonight about social media posts published by a different law enforcement agency.
So over the weekend, employees at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office posted a crime scene photo and a selfie with the prime suspect in Soto's disappearance. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest joins us now. And Mike, you just heard from prosecutors about this.
That's right. I just received a statement from State Attorney Andrew Bain, who will be prosecuting the case. He says, in part, I'm deeply disturbed that the photos were carelessly made public. While I do not believe that these photos will have any evidentiary impact on the case, as of now, they were released in poor taste.
Well, honestly, it's beyond poor taste at this point. What they could be jeopardizing is massive. Everything from the jury pool, like they said, to possibly things being thrown out when trial does come. It's blowing me away what's happening in our world lately.
Friday afternoon, Osceola County Sheriff's deputies discovered the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto in a wooded area. On the very next morning, on the official Instagram page for Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, someone posted a photo that appeared to show a close-up view of the crime scene. News 6 has blacked out that image. But the photo caption, which reads, "Great day with our seniors," suggests the posting was unintentional. In a statement issued Saturday afternoon, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "Earlier today, a post was made on social media about a community event for seniors. In the post, an investigative photo was accidentally included. The photo was immediately removed. We deeply apologize for any confusion or disturbance this may have caused. As with any investigation, the information obtained is confidential."
So I am kind of confused as to how it could accidentally end up with pictures of seniors. Now, what they're saying is that this was taken on his personal phone. So what? They're not going to get away with this one, guys. They cannot keep screwing up cases.
And any mistaken disclosures will be immediately rectified.
That could affect the investigation and prosecution of the case, the defense of the case, and it could also affect the potential jury pool.
News 6 legal analyst Stephen Kramer says the photos release may prompt a defense attorney to try getting the trial moved to another location. And he says it could open Sheriff Marcos Lopez up to civil liability.
You've got a grieving family that's suffering, and you may see an argument that this photo, even if it wasn't intentional, the release was negligent. And as a result, you may see a claim for damages and a lawsuit result from that.
The agency has not disclosed whether Sheriff Lopez himself or another staff member posted the Instagram photo. That same morning, Sheriff's Office employee Nerva Rodriguez posted this photo on her personal Facebook page. It shows Rodriguez posing in front of Stephan Sterns, the prime suspect in the teenager's disappearance. The caption reads, "If God's love has been poured out over your life, don't allow evil to keep you away from what he has prepared for you." The post includes the hashtag Nerva Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the executive director of the sheriff's office, a civilian position that oversees several departments, including the agency's social media. The photo was removed from Rodriguez's Facebook page after News 6 began asking questions about it.
Rodriguez did not respond to my request for comment. A sheriff's office spokesperson said it could not answer questions about Rodriguez's Facebook post due to ongoing investigation.
Breaking news. According to records just obtained by West 2, the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's case sexually abused her for almost 2 years.
Michelle Imperato joins us in studio with more on what we're learning. Michelle.
Well, Nancy and Stuart, Stephan Sterns is in jail on charges of sexual battery and possession of child pornography. And this afternoon, we obtained one of his search warrants. And according to the document, Sterns spoke with investigators.
So when he got the previous charge, sadly, he was in this same household. So I'm having a little bit of confusion as to how the mother didn't know. I mean, it's just, to me personally, a little baffling.
After Soto was reported missing last week, he told investigators he was fine with them looking through his phone as part of the investigation, but told them he had accidentally performed a factory reset on it just the day she disappeared. Now, despite that, investigators say they were able to find pictures and videos showing he raped Madeline repeatedly as far back as August of 2022 when she was 11, and that the abuse happened in the house where he, Soto, and her mother lived. They already had evidence that he had abused her after she turned 12. Soto was 13.
Yeah, you guys, like, what the hell? What the hell? I'm pretty sure this mother, personal opinion, of course, how did she not know? I'm not understanding. How did she not know?
13 years old when she was reported missing on February 26th. Soto's mother told investigators that Sterns, who is her boyfriend, had dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School, but found out at dismissal that Soto had never made it. Investigators say evidence showed Soto was never dropped off at school. Stephan Sterns remains in jail on charges of sexual battery and child sex abuse material. Stuart, Nancy, back to you.
Lordy, lordy, guys. Lordy, lordy.
First, breaking in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Why prosecutors are now calling for an investigation into this local sheriff, and how the story Madeline's mother provided law enforcement doesn't line up with what investigators know.
We spoke one-on-one with Jennifer Soto last Tuesday. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. At that point, her daughter Madeline had been missing for 1 day. She told us that Stephan Sterns, her boyfriend and now the prime suspect in Madeline's death, had taken the teenager to school. She said the last conversation she had with the 13-year-old was the night before.
So you guys remember when she's talking, I don't know if they're going to show it in this clip or not, but you remember her constantly saying, well, we dropped her off, or we did this and we did that. And all of a sudden it was like, he did this and he did that. I mean, it's pretty bloody suspicious.
But this report we got a hold of today shows she told deputies she saw her daughter the morning of her disappearance. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler has been digging into the details of this case. She joins us live in studio. And Shannon, that's not the only thing you noticed in this new report.
Greg, no one has been charged in Madeline Soto's death, but we do know investigators are looking into who knew what and when. And some of that means looking at those initial interviews of the couple and the ones later on. Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her goodnight and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was...
Look at this. Look at this. She's got to know this guy and know he's not crying. I mean, we don't know him and we know he wasn't crying. It's just odd to me, guys. It's just odd.
We learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Sterns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from Stephan Sterns and Soto trying to piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk.
Did you guys hear that? We dropped her off at school. I'm just going to go back a little bit here.
Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
Detectives believe Maddie was likely dead early Monday morning because a video timeline shows Maddie's belongings being dumped in a dumpster at 7:35 by Sterns. At 8:19, Sheriff Mina said video shows Maddie in Sterns' vehicle believed to be deceased. Since then, the case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment. So this initial report also shows that Sterns told investigators that after Maddie got out of his car, she stopped to look in that book bag before he drove away. That same book bag was found actually in the dumpster. After her death, he then said he went home for about an hour after going to the vape store and running errands. He was home that day until 2:30. Detectives say a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where the little girl's body was found that afternoon.
All right, Shannon, it is starting to piece together. Thank you.
It is starting to piece together, slow and steady. And if she's got guilt, if she is involved with this in any way, shape, or form, they'll get her. They will get her. And him, well, we all know what we think should happen with a guy like that, don't we?
He also spoke to suspect Stephan Sterns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks, love you too. That was it.
Again, law enforcement believes Sterns never drove Madeline to school and that she was already dead that morning.
Greg, also breaking this afternoon, the state attorney's office says it's asking the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate how and why a photo that appeared to be a body in the woods was posted to the Osceola County Sheriff's personal Instagram page. The photo was posted less than 24 hours after investigators found Madeline Soto's body. Sheriff Marcos Lopez, you see here, said he accidentally posted the...
I don't buy it. Accidentally. My butt. That's not what we're after. We're going to pop over here. Accidentally. Just wow, guys. This is so disturbing.
Cloud days after being reported missing.
Documents obtained by West 2 today allege that Stephan Sterns, the boyfriend of Madeline Soto's mom, was sexually abusing that teen for nearly 2 years. Haley Crumblehome breaks down what else these documents reveal. Haley.
So according to those documents, law enforcement was able to find some disturbing videos and images on Stern's phone, despite the fact that he said he accidentally did a factory reset on that phone the day that Madeline disappeared. But like I said, law enforcement were still able to get some significant information off of that phone. They say the pictures and videos they found on it show he had been sexually abusing Madeline since at least August of 2022, when she was just 11. They say the room that could be seen in some of the pictures is a room in the home.
How disturbing is this? We're talking at least 2 years, at least. You know, the PCA, I've got it, but it is so disgusting and so disturbing that I won't even attempt to share that. It's bad.
Madeline shared with her mother and with Sterns. Now, right now, Sterns is being held here in the Osceola County Jail on no bond on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. Live in Osceola.
Yeah. So, yes, the documents, like I say, I'm not going to go over those. We can just guess, right? We can just guess what's on them. So it does sound like they're saying that he did not take her to school, either carried on somewhere else and did something to her. But somehow when he was coming back, they believe that the picture that they were able to get of Maddie, she had already been deceased. So did he bring her back and then stay in for a while and then turn around and go out to that field, which is a little bit of a trek? So according to the documents, Stern was doing this to Madeline for nearly 2 years, while law enforcement had initially found evidence that Stern had been abusing Madeline since she was 12. The arrest affidavit breaks down how they were able to determine that it went back even further. The arrest affidavit for Stearns says he allowed law enforcement to search his phone, but said he had accidentally done a factory reset on the day Madeline disappeared. But you know what? That's not good enough. Investigators say they were able to get the videos and images off the phone, and metadata showed some of what they found was from August of 2022, when Madeline was 11. So he's now in Osceola. I'm not Osceola County Jail, being held on charges of all sorts of stuff that we don't even want to say on here. Therapists said it's important to talk to your kids about this type of stuff, even if you don't think you need to. Some family members or some parents feel they're doing everything they can to protect their children, so it doesn't come to mind to even ask those questions. A licensed marriage and family therapist, she says there can be certain indicators that something can be happening with your child. Specifically for SA, things like mistrust, things like not wanting to be alone with a certain person, things like knowing about things that's inappropriate for their age. She says indicators of emotional abuse can be depression, low self-esteem, and lack of personal hygiene. When your child shuts down or becomes withdrawn, that is the time to lean in. Not from an aggressive perspective, but from a caring perspective, and just talk to them. Normalize and talk to your teens about everything, including abuse. McCullough says those who know or suspect a child is being abused can reach out to the Florida Abuse Hotline. So that number, 1-800-962-2873. Stern has not yet been charged with Madeline's passing. Kissimmee police are conducting a thorough investigation into what happened. She was reported missing on Monday, February 26th, and it was initially said she was dropped off by Sterns near Hunters Creek Middle School. However, Orange County Sheriff John Mina said further investigation reveals Soto had never been dropped off. Investigators said Stern is the boyfriend of her mother. In a news conference Friday, Mina said the video showed Sterns throwing items into a dumpster around 7:35 a.m. the day that she went missing. Her backpack and school laptop were later found in that same dumpster. The Orange County Sheriff also said Sterns was seen returning to the complex about 8:19 a.m. with the missing teen in the car. Mina says it's believed she was already gone at that point. During the investigation into her disappearance, Sterns gave investigators permission to search his phone, and that is where their office found the disturbing images. According to documents from the Kissimmee Police Department, Soto was a victim of SA, and the evidence suggested that Sterns was involved as far back as 2022. Kissimmee police led the investigation into alleged crimes since they took place in the home where Soto, her mother, and Sterns lived. Wow.
Well, hours after Madeline Soto was found dead in rural Osceola County, her mother's boyfriend and the main suspect in her death was in court. Stephan Sterns faces charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. West 2's Haley Crumblehome is live tonight at the Osceola County Jail, where Sterns is now being held. And Haley, you did get the chance to speak with Kissimmee police about what comes next.
So they tell me that more charges could be coming, but right now they're focusing on the case at hand and working on investigating all possible angles.
Stephan Sterns, or Stephan's.
Stephan Sterns had his initial appearance in court Saturday. He never spoke, but his attorney did.
Your Honor, at this time, I am going to waive Mr. Sterns' appearance. I'm also going to waive the reading of these charges. Mr. Sterns is aware of what he's been arrested for.
Though Sterns is a prime suspect in Madeline Soto's death, the charges he faced Saturday came after deputies found what they called disturbing images on Sterns' phone. The charges include sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material.
So you got 0 bond.
The Kissimmee Police Department is now leading the investigation into what happened to Madeline. They said Saturday the department is conducting follow-ups and
So we have this search. I streamed this live as this was happening. It was the saddest thing to see them start to put that tape up. You knew they had found her. Just absolutely heartbreaking. So what would be your guess as to why after 2 years he decided to do this? What would be the catalyst to make him do something like this after at least 2 years?
collecting evidence and working to prepare a solid case. They said Sterns could be facing additional charges in the future, but only after a thorough investigation.
It's still denial. It's absolute denial. You don't want to believe this happened to a little kid.
That's how those gathered to remember Madeline felt Friday night, standing outside of the school she never made it to Monday, just hours after her body had been found.
Disbelief and definitely overwhelming. I think that's pretty much what we've all gone through. I can only imagine what her immediate family has gone through.
For other students at Hunters Creek Middle, it's a mess of emotions.
Confused, sad, angry at the person who did that.
Still trying to work through a situation no one could understand.
I don't know how to explain it. I just feel horrible. It's horrible. Like, who in their right mind would do that to a little girl?
And this is the thing. Look at all of these young faces out there that are just learning how horrific this world can be. It is literally heartbreaking. And the turnouts, I mean, just absolutely beautiful to see them gathering for Madeline. Heartbreaking. Just a little girl there.
Though Madeline has been found, the Kissimmee Police Department is asking anyone with information that could assist them as they're investigating this case to come forward. Live in Osceola County, Haley Crumblehome, WESH 2 News.
Haley, thank you. And here's a timeline of Maddie Soto's death investigation. On Monday at 8:19 in the morning, investigators say video shows Sterns returning to the family's Kissimmee apartment complex with Madeline visible inside the car. Investigators do believe that she was already dead at that time. Now, they arrested Sterns for sexual battery on Wednesday and then on Thursday.
Look how he doesn't want to show his face. Like he turns his face. Are you kidding me already? If you're capable of doing this and you're going to go through with something like this, it's just, I don't, oh, Lordy, guys. Just, oh, Lordy.
The Orange County deputies said that they believe Sterns had information regarding the disappearance of Soto. However, he refused to answer any questions and requested an attorney. Sterns was transferred from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola County Jail on Friday morning.
Brutal, guys. Okay, so here, let me see, I might be able to boost this up a little bit for us as well. A little bit more. So they are saying here that Madeline Soto, the story that Jennifer Soto, the mother, gave law enforcement does not line up with what investigators know. Let's see here, come on.
Story Madeline's mother provided law enforcement doesn't line up with what investigators know.
We spoke one-on-one with Jennifer Soto last Tuesday. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. At that point, her daughter Madeline had been missing for 1 day. She told us that Stephan Sterns, her boyfriend and now the prime suspect in Madeline's death, had taken the teenager to school. She said the last conversation she had with the 13-year-old was the night before. But this report we got a hold of today shows she told deputies she saw her daughter the morning of her disappearance. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler has been digging into the details of this case. She joins us live in studio. And Shannon, that's not the only thing you noticed in this new report.
Greg, no one has been charged in Madeline Soto's death, but we do know investigators are looking into who knew what and when. And some of that means looking at those initial interviews of the couple and the ones later on. Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning, and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned.
So remember all those we's that we just listened to just a few minutes back. We did this and we did that. We. And then in the same breath, she's coming out with he. So it's pretty suspicious.
Learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Sterns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from Stephan Sterns and Soto trying to piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school.
We
She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
Detectives believe Maddie was likely dead early Monday morning because a video timeline shows Maddie's belongings being dumped in a dumpster at 7:35 by Sterns. At 8:19, Sheriff Mina said video shows Maddie in Sterns' vehicle believed to be deceased. Since then, the case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment. So this initial report also shows that Sterns told investigators that after Maddie got out of his car, she stopped to look in that book bag before he drove away. That same book bag was found actually in the dumpster. After her death.
Neither one of them can keep their stories straight. So was she with her daughter or wasn't she with her daughter? And if she was with the daughter, does that mean she was involved in any other way? There are so many questions to be answered yet, guys.
Death. He then said he went home for about an hour after going to the vape store and running errands. He was home that day until 2:30. Detectives say a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where the little girl's body was found that afternoon.
All right, Shannon, it is starting to piece together. Thank you. We also spoke to suspect Stephan Sterns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
She was asleep for most of the way. Told her.
So watch this guy closely and notice how he faked tears. He fakes the nose. I mean, there's nothing believable about this guy. Nothing. And I'm really wondering about the mother.
Have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks, love you too. That was it.
Again, law enforcement believes Sterns never drove Madeline to school and that she was already dead that morning.
Greg, also breaking this afternoon, the state attorney's office says it's asking the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate how and why a photo that appeared to be a body in the woods was posted to the Osceola County Sheriff's personal Instagram page. The photo was posted less than 24 hours after investigators found Madeline Soto's body. Sheriff Marcos Lopez, you see here, said he accidentally posted the image when sharing a post of himself visiting a senior citizens area.
Yeah, that I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. Okay, can we get rid of that? I can't seem to get rid of this. So I think what I'll do is we'll come over here for a few minutes. Madeline Soto, what we know about the 13-year-old's disappearance in Florida. Just turned 13. So police in Florida announced on Friday that they had found the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto less than a week after she failed to show up for school in Kissimmee, Florida. After a 4-day search, the local sheriff said that it was confident that she was deceased, and a grim discovery was made several hours later. Her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, is the lead suspect and is in custody. And of course, we've got SA, we've got CP, we have a bunch of things we can't even say. When did Madeline go missing? Well, she was reported missing on Monday, the 26th of February at around 8:30 a.m. Sheriff's office in Orange County said that she was last seen off Village Park Drive in Kissimmee near Orlando, headed to school. She's described as white, 5'1", blonde hair, blue eyes. She was seen wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and white Crocs. Missing and endangered. It is with sadness we report the child was found deceased. We express our sincerest condolences to Madeline's family and friends during this difficult time. So yeah, we know that Stephan Sterns said he dropped her off, and of course that was a lie. And the mother is saying she didn't find out until she went to pick her up after school. Was that a lie? I don't know. More than 50 law enforcement officers spent days following Madeline's disappearance, searching for her in nearby woodland. Officers had found messages on her phone that said she wanted to live in the woods when she turned 13. I can only imagine why, right? That's not hard to figure out. So Sheriff John Mina said that he had met with Madeline's mother on Thursday to tell her that he was confident that her daughter was not alive and that his deputies were now looking for her remains. The sheriff explained that OCSO has video evidence that shows Mr. Sterns throwing those items in the dumpster that were later picked up by the sheriff's office. And again, they're talking about him coming back into the complex and that Madeline was visible and they didn't think that she was alive at that time.
All right. Well, good afternoon. So thank you for being here so we can bring as much attention as possible to the case of missing juvenile Madeline Soto. So let me first start by saying, I know as a parent, this is every parent's worst nightmare. Many of our detectives and deputies who are working the case, they also have children. So they're working extra hard to find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is going through. But I do want to assure the community that we have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now. And we will not stop until we find her. So Madeline is 13 years old. She has been missing since 8:30 on Monday morning when mom's boyfriend dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School. he dropped her off actually near the Peace United Methodist Church on Town Loop Boulevard. So I'll kind of go through like a timeline of events as we know it. Like I said, mom's boyfriend dropped Madeline off at about 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning, a few blocks away from the school. At approximately 4:30 on Monday afternoon, Madeline's mom went to the school to pick her up and found out that Madeline was not there and had never reported to school. So she never actually entered the school.
This is the thing, you know. Did the school not take it upon themselves to call the parents? Isn't that usually the way things go? Is the school, if your child doesn't show up, are they not supposed to contact you?
And so we also learned that Madeline left her phone at home that day. So we were called on Monday evening at approximately 8 p.m. Our patrol deputies went out there, met with Madeline's mom at the school near Hunters Creek to take a report on her missing daughter. So we started the investigation that night, started canvassing the area, looking for any witnesses or surveillance video. So later that evening, while we were doing investigation, we did obtain an article of Madeline from the house. We called our bloodhound. The bloodhound did an extensive search, which unfortunately did not provide any results about her whereabouts. So our missing persons detectives responded to take over the investigation. So they did interviews with mom's boyfriend, Madeline's friends from school. We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. So that was in her phone.
So isn't that interesting? What child at 13 wants to go live in the woods? I mean, this tells a story all on its own. Allegedly, she talked to her mother about what was going on, and allegedly she was talking to friends about what had gone on.
And so during the course of the day on Tuesday, detectives and deputies conducted extensive interviews, an extensive canvass. We collected video from the area and again conducted interviews with family members. So on yesterday, we distributed flyers in the area near the school. As a matter of fact, Madeline's family had their own flyers. We're also distributing flyers to family and friends and students at the school at the same time. So the house is in Kissimmee, where the family lives, is being held overnight by the Orange County Sheriff's Office and the Kissimmee Police so that we could secure search warrants. This is common practice in cases like this, and those search warrants should be executed today. On Wednesday this morning, more than 50 members of our emergency response team responded out there to the area near the school and conducted an area search for Madeline. And so we have a command post set up out there at that area. We also have a command post set up here at the sheriff's office for the investigative side of it. So, you know, our detectives are continuing to do interviews and follow up on all possible leads. One thing we do in all missing person cases, especially missing juveniles, our sex offender surveillance squad goes out and makes contact with every single sex offender in the area of Madeline's last location. And so, you know, I wish I had some more definitive answers. We just want to keep getting Madeline's picture out there. We want people who may know something about her disappearance to call us. They can call us anonymously at 1-800-423-TIPS. They can also call 911 if they think they know what happened to Madeline. And again, you know, it's every parent's worst nightmare, but rest assured that, you know, we are doing everything possible. We have an extensive section dedicated to working solely on finding out where Madeline is. And I'll take some questions, but again, still early on in the investigation. I'll start over here. So right now, the facts of the disappearance don't qualify through the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for an Amber Alert. Certainly, if through the investigation it does qualify for an Amber Alert, we will send that out. There's no information to indicate that there's another family member, an outside family member is involved. No, not at this time. I'm not sure. Yeah. That's correct.
They're very careful how they speak. And one thing that we've been hearing fairly consistently is there could be more charges laid. Usually what that means is there's going to be more charges laid.
No, just the information on the phone was that when she turned 13, which was just February 22nd, she was going to live out in the woods. So it's one of the reasons we're out there in that area searching. That was, yeah, through either text messages or other social media messages. Yeah, that's certainly all the things that our detectives look at. I know the initial information was that she said, "Hey, you know, I'm embarrassed of this vehicle, whatever. So drop me off at this location." We're still following up on all of that, but yes, certainly something that we will look into. You know, why not drop her off at the school? But we're looking into all of that. So we collected that video, analyzed it, and it's a very, very grainy video. So we're not actually sure if that's Madeline, but we've collected video from other parts of that area too. So anytime we have like a missing juvenile, we certainly look at everyone that has contact with that juvenile. It's one of the first things that we do. So the investigation is ongoing. So yeah, anytime that we have a missing kid who left her phone at home, you know, who was dropped off, you know, early, a few blocks from school, we look at all of that. So, you know, anytime a child goes missing, you know, to me, it's always suspicious. And in this case, that's why, you know, we're putting all these resources towards finding her. You know, well over 100 personnel are working to find her, from detectives to analysts to specialized patrol, mounted patrol, our emergency response team, and others. Not to my knowledge, no, nothing that was beyond the obvious. Yeah. Yes. Where? So we're searching all the areas around that area where she was last seen, and then of course we're searching any area where we've received any tips or any areas that investigative leads have led us to.
So it was a tip that got them to Madeline. It was a flat tire that he had just not too far from this field. And I do believe there was one other tip now that might have confirmed that, but it was originally one tip telling them that he was changing a flat tire.
I can't tell you exactly when it was. It obviously it was before she turned 13, which was February 22nd, but that's all I can tell you right now. Other than that, to my knowledge, there was no other indication of turmoil in the house. So, that's why we have all these people out there. We don't know if she was taken. We don't know if she stepped away. She left her phone at the house. So that's why we're putting all this effort into. That's why we're doing this press conference to hope someone from the public may have saw something. It might not have seemed like a big deal at the time, but now knowing what Madeline looks like, maybe it's some information that could help us find her whereabouts. Yeah, so anytime a juvenile goes missing, we're always looking at social media or phones. Obviously, I said we have her phone. We're able to analyze her phone. So anything that's involving gaming or social media, certainly we take a look at. And just know that a lot of times some of that information from third-party social media platforms does take time. We need to get subpoenas and information. But yeah, we are looking at that phone, and certainly that's things that our detectives will look at. Yeah, so like I said, throughout the investigation and tips that come in, we search different areas. I'm not exactly sure where they are right now. I just know that we've searched several areas out there. Yeah, the bloodhounds. I mean, we put out our own videos. Depending on the scent and how strong it is, there's cases of bloodhounds tracking someone a mile or even more away. So that's why we have bloodhounds here. We use them anytime we have a missing person. And so, that's one of the reasons not too long ago, we put out our scent evidence kit. If you want to, you can get one of these scent evidence kits. You can put a piece of their clothing or clothing inside this kit. And then if, God forbid, someone who's elderly, who may has dementia or Alzheimer goes missing, we can give the bloodhound, let them sniff that article, and they may be able to take the bloodhound right to it. But they're incredible animals, as you know, and they're very capable of doing those searches. So the information I have is that it was that the mom's boyfriend dropped her off. That's the information I have.
So he seems to be holding back. To me, it seems like it's possible he knows exactly what happened at this point, because he's sure trying to redirect people when it comes to certain questions.
So all else is the detectives are following up on every single lead with the end result of finding Madeline. That's their number one priority. But in investigations like this, they look at everything. Like I said, we interview family members, we locate sex offenders that are in the area, we look at video, we look at everyone's phones, we do search warrants to see if there's any indication in the house. So we do all of that, and it's an extensive investigation. So I said well over 100 people are involved. So, we're hoping some tips come in that may help us. Again, we're going to continue to look at all the things that we do, license plate readers, video surveillance, cell phone information from everyone. And those are all the things that are going on right now. If we get tips, certainly we will. There's a lot of different areas out there, and we'll send our search teams to different areas over the next couple of days. No, we treat a missing person as a missing persons, and I know there's different levels, and people are on the spectrum at different levels. So no, it wouldn't change our investigation. It's just a piece of information that we know, and based on our training of dealing with people who may be on the spectrum, that is something that we take into consideration about where they might end up, where they might go.
Whoa. So Madeline was found off Hickory Tree Road, and Osceola County Sheriff's Office search teams did locate her in a wooded area. Her family had been notified. And again, mother's boyfriend is the main suspect. Wednesday, the 28th of February, they announced that they had arrested Mr. Sterns following the discovery of disturbing images on his phone that he had tried to delete. Oh, turn your head. Coward. Coward. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Kissimmee PD shared photos of Mr. Sterns' car, which he was seen driving between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on the 26th of February in the area of State Road 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road. It's believed he had gotten a flat tire at the time. Madeline's mother is not considered a suspect at this time. In a statement released on Friday afternoon, Orange County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Maria Vasquez paid tribute to their precious student. My thoughts and prayers go out to Maddie's family and her school community, Dr. Vasquez said. To lose a child so suddenly and tragically is extremely difficult, especially for the family and friends. Counselors continued to be available for any student or staff member dealing with the news. I ask that you keep the entire Hunter Creek's middle school community in your prayers as they grieve the loss of one of their own. And here is talking about that officer sharing that photo. So there was 2 memorials for Madeline. Let's see here. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay.
People are leaving items at 2 memorials set up in honor of her, one outside of her Hunter Creek Middle School where she was a student, and the other near the wooded area in St. Cloud where her body was found. Channel 9's Daryl Matthews is live in St. Cloud. And Daryl, Madeline's story has touched just so many hearts of those people who didn't even know this little girl.
Yeah, Martha, you wouldn't even believe how many people have come out here just today. And we've seen people all day drop off bears, right hand.
Wow, look at all of that, you guys. Oh, wow. Rest in peace there, baby girl.
written letters, even bring some balloons out here, all paying their respects to Maddie. As you said, even those who didn't know her, they felt a connection through her story.
And I just come to give her, her respect, because I got two granddaughters, and it just breaks my heart.
A drive along Hickory Tree Road in St. Cloud will lead you to a site filled with flowers and stuffed animals, all in memory of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
She was an angel, I think, to everybody, and that's why she's touching everybody's heart.
This is the second memorial set up for Maddie. The first is outside her school, where we saw balloons, candles, and prayer. The Orange County School District says in part, counselors have been available at Hunters Creek.
Can you imagine how hard it's going to be for all of these kids to get a grasp on what happened to Madeline? I mean, it's hard for adults to get a grasp on what has happened, but all of these children.
Middle school since the disappearance of Madeline, and will continue to as long as needed. Both memorials come after the teen's body was discovered Friday in a wooded area. Now just feet away from that site, a handwritten note reads, "Spread your wings and fly, and rest easy."
It touched my heart. See, I'm very close to my kids, so I don't want my kids to ever go through this either.
Soto's body was discovered after Maddie's mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, was named the prime suspect in her disappearance Monday morning, when he told law enforcement he dropped her off at school the day after they celebrated her 13th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Interestingly enough, this was at the house, or at the, I think they're calling it an apartment. This happened, and Madeline's mom worked that day, which I find a little unusual as well. But every family's different that way, I suppose.
Sterns is currently in Osceola jail for sexual battery of a child. Stephan Torres didn't know Madeline personally, but says this teen's tragic story moved her to crochet this scarf as a gift.
And when I heard her story, I was like, no, I gotta come by and swing and make that for her.
Now, Sterns is currently still in Osceola jail. This is an ongoing investigation. Investigators say they are gathering evidence to build a case to charge for murder. We're live in St. Cloud. Darryl Matthews, Channel 9 Eyewitness.
So they are in the middle of getting this case ready. I have absolutely no doubt that those charges are coming, but best that they take a look at what they have and get more if they need it. Check out that mother, I'm sure, and possibly anybody else that was around that place. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. And I do appreciate you all for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit that bell, because as we know, I stream all different times of the day. So guys, let's keep Madeline in our hearts and just hope that justice comes soon. We need these charges, and if the mother needs to be charged, well, let's get her done. So guys, again, I appreciate you, as you know, and I will see you really soon in the next one.